Welcome to Ask Inky 6. It is currently 33 degrees out. I don't have AC. And I've been waiting a little while to do this video, but it's been 30 degrees out for like 4 days in a row now. So here we are. It's so fucking hot. My apartment, somehow it gets hotter in my apartment than it is outside. It's probably about 40 degrees in my apartment right now. I don't know how I'm alive. But anyway. This is the post-Gommel. It should have been pre-Gommel Ask Inky, I think. But I just dilly-dallied a little bit. Speaking of Gommel, it was kind of garbage. Definitely the worst run Gommel yet. In terms of scheduling, in terms of everything. Yeah, I would say that, like, shout out to New Jersey and Quebec, because if I was not friends with them, I actually might have gone home early. I might have just booked a red eye and left halfway through the event. It was that, I don't know, maybe I would have just hung out in Toronto instead, but holy shit, that event sucks. Definitely the worst major I've ever been to in my life, having gone to like 30 by now. But anyway, aside from that, we're home and we've got questions to answer. So let's get into it. I didn't start with the joint roll this time. I'm going to be rolling a joint while I chat. And then, as you can see here, and then, of course I'll be smoking it as I chat with you guys. Let's just start it off. Preferred sauce for chicken wings is the first question. On the side or on the wing, drumstick or flat. Now, preferred sauce really depends on the bar I'm going to. I like a Carolina Gold. I like a barbecue, like a honey barbecue. Not as much like a honey garlic. Honey garlic is very hit or miss. But like a honey barbecue. Yeah, that's my go-to, I would say. Always on the wing, and I prefer drumsticks. They're easier to eat, and they feel more caveman-like. I don't know why. Good question. Great question. I'm also not timestamping today's video because I'm feeling really lazy. I just don't want to. It actually takes me 5 seconds. I'll timestamp it. Quickest run back on your word ever. Okay, 2 minutes, 50 seconds in. Question 2. What are 2 things that folks could be doing better at playing doubles? 1, don't play it. That's the first thing you could do better. Doubles is a waste of time. 2 is positioning and waiting to react. People want to always do something when they play melee, and they're impatient. And one person on each team kind of has to just wait and whiff punish. And if neither of your teammates are doing that, or neither of your teammates is playing against the opponent while always watching for that, a time to react with your teammate, then you're gonna get gapped by actual teams. That and at the edges, foxes should always be doing a runoff drill, or a drill near ledge, to save their opponent from getting hit with a strong hit attack. There's a lot of ways you can save your team that people don't, and also people give up right away on the recovery when they can make it back and then just get a gimp. I think that people are too afraid that when they're at 140 that they have to immediately die so that they can come back and help their teammate not get 2v1. But obviously time and place for everything, but people could definitely get a lot better at that area. Good question. Question 3. How do you know when something is a controller issue versus you misinputting something is easier to accept it's my fault rather than blame the controller? Unless you are really high level, chances are it's hard to tell. Because the thing is someone like Cody, he hits 99.9% of his inputs at this point. So when he's missing one, it's it is an outlier, and he can be oh, well, what's causing this? And then he looks back and it's okay, well, it's this thing either with me or with my controller, and then he can calibrate it. With newer players or mid-level players, That's something that's a little harder to do, just because purely there's a lot more things to work on. And so I personally would almost always look into each individual spot, like if you're missing something, and then try it in a lot of different ways, like solo. Even if it's like a sequence, try it like in our wing or like in Uncle Punch, and yeah, just like find out for yourself, really, because it really could be both or either. A lot of the times where I've gotten stuck with something and it's like, oh no, my controller was just dog shit. But a lot of times where I've like learned one new thing and then fixed like years of missing putting something over and over again. Good question. Next question is, are there any top 100 players you haven't played who you'd like to get the opportunity to clash with, whether or not it'd be likely to happen given seeding? I personally want to play everyone. Like, I don't want a single top 100 player to escape me in terms of like getting that experience of playing with them. And then if like, yeah, there's the question. And if it goes well, awesome. I've gotten the experience plus I won. And if it doesn't go well, that sucks. I want to play them again. And I want to figure it out. So, but if we're talking to anyone in particular, I would love to play Mango. I would love to play Zane. I would love to play Nikki. Would love to play Nikki. I would like to play OKP. I'd like to play Rat Monster in a bracket set. I'd like to play Morse Code in a bracket set. West Balls. Crush. Slocks. I want to run back against Sunsei. I want to run back against Aklo. Josh Man. I really want to play Josh Man at least once before he retires. Really want to play Josh Man. Those are the big ones that I can think of right away. I wish I got another shot at Amsa before he stopped traveling. I think I could have beat him last year or this year if he would have gone to a major. Good question. What to do when you were Fox and Martha staying the ledge and spamming down tilt and F smash? I can show that real quick. Like, here's the thing. Let's watch it from both perspectives.
Training mode. Fox. Mark.
So on the north side, you get a grab, you down throw, you down tilt, down tilt, down tilt, down tilt. Try and kill them, right? So it's like, as a Fox, it's like, oh god, what do I do, right? And you jump in, you get hit by the down tilt, and you die. Now, obvious answer in my mind is like, there's clearly a timing. What's happening? Can you not? Okay, yeah. So, option one, in this case, I DI up instead of DIing out, because DIing up keeps me higher, allows me to immediately jump back to ledge. And hit stun. Right? You jump sweet solid ledge. Now, why do I get ledge here? Well, it's because I jumped in between the fox hits, right? Like between the down tilts. So, like, let's say the fox is waiting for me and they're waiting to react, right? Let's say that, right? Okay, it's so impossible to show. It's so fucking impossible to show this with just one person. Like, if I had someone else to play with, it'd be extremely easy to show what I want to. But basically, as Marth, like, you are reacting to when the fox is going to jump back to ledge, if you're reacting. And so that means you're waiting, and then the moment you see the fox jump from under stage, that's when you down tilt, okay? And as long as they don't do, like, a perfect, like, sweet spot around the down tilt, like, it's mostly a timing thing that you get, and you hit them. Now, if you're a fox, and you know that the, you know the Mirth wants that, then, like, what your job is to basically, you shine salt, and then you jump up with, like, an up air, you know, back to stage. Or, like, whatever move, right? Because they're just waiting to react, and so the moment that they try and react to your down tilt, you coming up with the up air is going to hit them first. Just because you'll be faster than how they react. Now, if they hit you for this, that means it's a timing read. That means that they are down tilting early, because they expect that up to air. And then so that's when you just wait an extra, like a little bit extra, and then you grab ledge. So it's like, it's either that, or it's, and you take an extra little time. And that's like a timing mix-up that's basically a 50-50. That's an easy way. Now what Marths will try and do is they're like, okay, if you're doing a timing mix-up, I'm just going to down throw you, and then I'll run off forward air, right? And so if they do that, that's when, like, you get down throw, you shine, you drop down a little lower, and then you jump shine them, and then you recover with an up B. So it's like you get around the run off forward air by going a little lower, like shining and then instantly releasing it to go lower, and then jump shining them. So it's like, that's like the 50-50 and like how it progresses. Point being is that, like, a lot of the time it's just a timing read. You have to just like time when to get around. You know? So you have all these different timing mix-ups to like get around it, depending on whether it's like a back throw or it was already a ledge guard. You see how it's like slightly different timing? And so if you picture like a Marth down tilting over and over again, like you're gonna get in between it. I'm so dumb, man. Hold on. So, what do we learn? Different timing, right? Different spacing as well. Like, it's tough, but you have to get the low spacing if you can. If you jump too high, I mean, again, it's just timing. Right. So in this case, it's just about jumping back in between the hits. If I shine stall, all of a sudden it becomes more ambiguous. Air dodge is really good as well. Yeah, it's just a timing thing. Like, if they're waiting an extra second, that means you should be acting immediately. Just timing. Do you think it's BM to play secondaries in bracket, especially if your opponent is trying their best and you are not? What does it mean by you are not? I think that's the big caveat here. Because, like, to me, if you're playing secondary and you're trying to win with your secondary and that makes you feel something, then, like, you're trying and that's the benchmark. And if the opponent beats you, it's like, I beat this person's character of this, so be it. That's their benchmark today. I beat it. You know, there's some integrity there, whatever. I don't mind that. Now, if you're playing, like, Peach to show people that Peach is dumb, and so you're just spamming down smash, and, like, you don't really care whether you win or lose, you're just, like, spamming disrespectful options to annoy people or to, like, show them the character's broken, or you're trying to, like, stall time as, like, Puff, or, like, you're playing someone who's, like, so much worse than you that, like, you can, like, fuck around for, like, 2 or 3 stocks and, like, troll, and then the last stock you're just, like, abusing, like, their habits over and over again. I think that is all lame. I think, like, anytime you're, like, not actually trying with your secondary, like, you're just, like, fucking around, like, that's disrespectful. Like, you're just wasting both of our time. I'm not learning anything, you're not learning anything. Let's just fuck off and, like, just DQ. We can play it for fun set if you want, but just, like, what am I doing here? But, like, again, I don't think it's BM to play secondaries. I think that, personally, especially, like, in tournament setting, you get a feel for how people want to play against these characters, and then you get a feel for what it's like to play that character and have people want those things. And so you just get more insight, and it's like know thyself, know thy enemy kind of deal. You just get more insight. I like playing secondaries, and I know I'm biased because of that, but yeah, I don't necessarily see it as a bad thing unless the person is, like, obviously BMing you. And even then, there's the, like, friend context. Like, it's like, if me and someone's a friend, if, like, I'm playing against a bud and I'm BMing him because, like, I'm just being an asshole to, like, neg him, then, like, whatever, you know? But if it's someone I don't know, then, like, what the fuck am I doing, you know? Any predictions for NS Melee players this coming PR season? Fuck, man. Hashtag Penguin Sweep. Hashtag Everest Sweep. Who else am I giving lessons to? Hashtag Steelsy Sweep. I have no predictions. I have no expectations. It's hard to say. I would say that if anything, it'll be interesting to see how the new kids come along. I heard that, like, they've been doing good online, and right now I think that, like, the best way to improve in our region is to play online, and to play often against people better than you. I think Randy has potential, but he's had potential multiple seasons in a row, so it's hard to say. I think Thorman has potential, but he's also kind of bottlenecked / capped a little bit recently. But again, I mean, you fill in pieces bit by bit per matchup, and who knows? So, hard to say. Hard to say. Of all the legal stages in Melee, which one is the last one that comes to mind for you? Why do you think that it is? What do you mean by like last one that comes to mind? Like last one I think about as like a legal state? Like when I'm thinking of stages and trying to name them all? Because it's like Battlefield, Fountain, Yoshi's, Dreamland, FD, Stadium. Did I miss any? You know? I think which one like do I like the least is probably Stadium. I think the Stadium's the Mickey Mouse stage. I think that like when transformations happen, there's like a social thing where I want to fight my opponent because I don't want to be lame, but at the same time, I'll lose a stock off of like non-melee bullshit that doesn't feel like it's like it's neutral at all. And I'm like, why am I on the stage? Like, what are we doing here? What the fuck's the point of life? That is. Yeah, I think that's the most garbage stage that exists. I would say second most garbage stage that exists would be... Oh, it's between FOD and Yoshi's. They're both pretty trash. FD's also trash. If it was up to me, this game would be played on Dreamland, Battlefield, and Yoshi's would be a counter pick. I recently read through Quarterin's Melee Fundamentals for Improving. You mentioned a lot about recognizing threat ranges. How do you learn to effectively understand threat ranges? Have you ever done something with playing hitbox on? Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is just looking into characters and like knowing characters, right? Like knowing that like I know right now where I'm standing here as Fox. I know right here I can barely touch Marth with a dash nair. Right? I can barely touch him. I just know that distance, right? I know that here, not only can I touch him, but he can't react to it. Like, he can't dash back here and then be okay. If I jump nair at him, no matter what he does, unless he, like, preempts me by hitting me first before the jump and nair comes off, my nair will hit something, right? So it's like knowing things like that. So it's like I know that once I've gotten in this range, he's going to have thrown out an option, or he's going to panic and stop me from being in this range by throwing out an option because this range is scary. So I know that like this to here is like the range, the range of like getting into scary range. This is like the bait range. And I know that like here is like the, okay, well it doesn't really matter range. Unless we both move at each other at the same time, in which case like that's when things can get scary. Like if him and I ran at the same time, we're both already in the middle. Like, it's just like that, right? And so when you're playing here, like, you're almost playing, like, as if, like, your opponent's going to move into this range, and, like, you're playing around, like, them, like, meeting you in the middle. Then your opponent will start to, like, run up here and do options, because they're just trying to hit you being here, and then that's when you can just start to, like, actually move at them again. Like, because you know that they're going to take space first before hitting you. And so that's, like, a big part of, like, threat range and carrying tension is, like, that middle ground there. Every character it's different. Like with Marth, it's a lot shorter, unless they're a dash attack Marth. Dash attack Marths are like ones that have like a larger range, but there's this in-between point between dash attack and like nair at someone. There's like this minor in-between spot where you're not going to get hit by either. So you almost want to position yourself there if you know the timing of when your opponent's going to hit, because you know that no matter what, you'll be in position to whiff punish either one. Small things like that come with experience, but for the most part, you should be able to intuitively tell like what you're worried about. What sort of split do you do when you're on improvement arcs? How much playing versus VOD with Uncle Punch sitting at like 95.5 right now? When I'm actually on my improvement arc, like with Gommel, it was probably like 70% VOD review, 10%, 20% Uncle Punch, 10% playing. It probably, like, at this point in my career, it's like, I'm either all doing one or I'm all doing another. Like, I'll do, like, a lot of VOD review, I'll look at certain spots, I'll be like, this, and this are things I need to work on, and then I'll either Uncle Punch those scenarios, which is the better thing to do, or I'll play a game and I'll try and force those scenarios, or try and like act on them happening naturally. So, yeah, good question. I would say it really depends. Personally, VOD review matters as much as like you put into it. It's weird. Ideally, it should be 33, 33, 33, realistically. Any advice on separating your worth as a competitor from your worth as a human? I think the biggest issue here is not separating your worth of one from the other as much as understanding what value really is and like what worth is, because we're all very young. If you're watching this video, there is a 1 in a billion chance that you're above the age of 40. Unless this video has been out for 5+ years now, and who knows, maybe my advice has taken off. But there's such a small chance that you're above the age of 40. You're probably under the age of 30, you know? If I could be so lucky. With that being said, there's so much more life to live. Whatever issues you have right now, whatever problems you have time to change them. You know, are you an alcoholic? Do you have drug addiction? Take a couple months, put in the work, and then take another year, 2 years maybe from there to figure out what it's like to live without it. Do you have a problem with talking to people? Maybe that is maybe you solve that by first going to a speakeasy, and maybe that takes you a month to figure out because you have to figure out what you want to say, or what you want to do there. Like, point being is that there are always ways to figure out the problems you have in life, just like there's always ways to figure out the problems you have as a competitor. And just like there's going to come times in your life where you fail, where you don't get that job, where you're in debt, where, whatever's happening, whatever failure you've come across or obstacle, life does move on. You are going to keep moving forward. Maybe you'll have regrets looking back. Maybe you'll wish, God, I wish I would have prepared more for this. I wish I would have done more for this. I wish I would have put more of myself into this. Maybe. But at the end of the day, you are going to move forward. You are going to be in a new spot on a new day. And you have time. Life is short, but at the same time, right now, while you're young, you have time. Whatever that time is, wherever you want to put it. I decided early on, I made a conscious decision that I like competing. I like competing in this game. I like what this game brings me. I like what I can add to the community. And so I decided that it's worth it for me to compete in this game, to put a part of my life into this game. And so when I'm playing, when I'm trying to learn, it feels worth it. Because I've already decided that it is. When I'm competing and I lose, and I have a bad tournament like Gommel, I don't think to myself, God, I am worthless. I suck as a human. Well, I mean, when I really think about it, I do think that. But like, what I really feel is, damn it, there are people like Rat Monster, there are people like Zane, who have done the work to put themselves in a position where no matter what their bracket path is, no matter what goes awry, no matter who they have to face or what the challenges are, they are going to end up in that top 8 setting because they put in the work to make their fundamentals and the base of what they know in matchups of a higher level than the people across from them. And they've just put in more than the people across from them. And so When I lose at a tournament like Gommel, I think to myself, God, I didn't put in the work I needed to be at the level I want to be at. And if I want to be at that level, it's a matter of doing what I don't want to do, which is working hard. And then from there, it's just, I mean, right now I was watching Cody Jmook earlier. I'm trying to figure out what changed between the first and the second set that made it the second set game 5. If it was Cody, if it was Jmook. I'm trying to figure out what garners respect. Maybe this will help me, maybe it won't. Maybe it's a waste of time. But the more of these things I put in, the more work I put in, the better I'll be. And there's always next tournament. Maybe there's not. Maybe I retire someday. You know, I'm getting older. Maybe someday soon I retire. But until I decide there's no future left for me here, there is. And there's something beautiful about that. And there's something beautiful about having that opportunity. So how do you separate your worth? I don't think you need to. I just think that you need to recognize that competition is just a part of life if you decide that it's something that you enjoy and that you want in your life. And just seeing it as that, you know. It's a beautiful thing. I think that you need to appreciate that you have worth as a competitor because you've decided to have worth as a competitor. And if you compete just for the fun of like being in the community and it's more so a side thing to the community itself, then what worth is there to have in it? You know, it's outside of as a byproduct of or a segue for social acts, you know, and then it, you know, your worth should just be in as much as the entertainment you bring and the positivity you provide and what it means to just be you as a person. I don't know. I think it's a good question, but I think that the answer lies within you. It's like not to be like cringe, and if you wanted to like talk about this one-on-one and you had more specific questions or like, and you know, you have rebuttals to the things that I said in this capacity, would love to chat this over with you. Good question. Okay. What hurts more, getting second from Winterside Grands or 9th place as a top 8 seed? A second. Every time. Every time. Because 9th place as a top 8 seed, like, if you're a top 8 seed, typically, like, you don't really care that you're a top 8 seed. You probably just want to win. And so getting 9th place is bad. It sucks, but it sucks about as much as getting 7th and as much as getting 5th. In my mind, you know. Could depend on the tournament and the players, but that's how I feel. Getting second when you're already in a position where you can win the tournament from winner's side, I don't think anything tops the pain that comes with losing in that spot, because you've earned that spot, you know. And then for it to get taken across 2 sets where you can't really refute it, it's not like it was just a one-off, it's just across 2 sets you didn't have answers. Like, that is just the most like fuck me kind of feeling ever. Although I don't know if that's ever happened to me when I think about it. I've been the person to win 2 sets in losers against someone in winners. But I don't know if anyone's ever won 2 sets against me in that spot. I can't really think of a time when it's ever happened. So I guess it's kind of hard for me to say. But that's my opinion on it. Build your own dream top 8 from spectator and Millie and Joy perspective of any players from any era. Both winner semi sets, both side or side sets. Let's see how I do this. Okay, sure. We'll do something like this. No, this isn't really gonna work. Whatever. I know what I'll do. Good old-fashioned paint. Winners side. Grands. Loser side. Alright. It's that easy. Amazing. Okay. So my ideal bracket ever. Well, again, I mean, first off, not to make any excuses, but I am from a spectator Millie enjoyer perspective. Listen, guys, I grew up in 2014, 2015 era. You already know. We're getting Mango versus Leffen. We're getting Armada versus Zane. No. I'm building a dream bracket. Armada versus Cody. Spoiler alert, Cody goes 0-2 in this bracket. Mango. Armada. Mango. Enraged. Alright, now this is where it gets interesting. In losers, we have Plop. Let's see, the loser of this drops over to the side. Right. Okay. So we have oh, how do we do this? Yeah, fuck it. Alright. This is my favorite storyline. We have Zane here versus PPM2K. It is a PPMD Mutaking hybrid. They have conjoined to defeat the one true Marth Zane. They do go a white Marth as a combination of the black and blue Marth. They have decided to settle there. And they do lose 3-0. But it's a close 3-0. Okay. 3-0. Boom. Armada 3-0, 3-2's Cody. It's like super close. Cody goes in for a hug after. Armada just shakes his hand. GG's. Mango Leffen, 3-2, Barn Burner. Mango takes out Leffen. Leffen is shaking his head the whole last 2 stocks because he's getting cleared. However, he still gives Mango a hug after and says win it all. Leffen drops down to this side of losers. And Cody drops down to this side. Yeah, Cody. Now, after Zane beats PPM 2K, Zane plays Cody. Just scrubs him 3-0. He just dog walks this guy. He shows that he is that guy. Zane is on a run. No one can stop him. He's going to win Genesis 30. Which they've named like Genesis 3000 plus 7. Because I don't fucking know why they named their tournaments the way they do. Now, on the other side of losers, Dark Horse, we have, how do we get here? We have Plup, who picked up the controller for the first time that week after winning Rivals Evo, like 2 days beforehand. And then we have, for the 50th time? Who's counting? And Plup is against, God, what other fucking cannon fodder am I going to throw in here for the dream bracket? Who would I like to watch Plup against? Plup is against Hugs86, who has had a legendary run. He was caught doing some illegal shit in real estate. I don't know enough about real estate to give a, amicable one, but it's like slimy and illegal, sure, but does it hurt anyone? Not really. Nevertheless, he has had his license taken away. He needs quick cash. He sees how talentless Millie is in the year 2050, and he decides, fuck it, I'm going to train myself up. Takes shots in his hands to get rid of the arthritis beforehand, and gets a bracket full of Degenerate Ice Climbers players and Pikachus, and just dog walks all of them. Nevertheless, he Samus Ditto's Plup, misses every charge shot. Plup hits between 14 to 50 across the set. Who's counting? It is a 3-0. You get Plup versus Leffen. Neither of these players... Oh, I forgot fucking H-Box. H-Box misses flight. Couldn't make it. H-Box lost to PPM 2K for 9th. After losing in winners to Jacob, up-and-coming Fox player. So he didn't make the bracket. We'll just say H-Box over here. You can't really see him on the screen. He's outside of picture even. He's right up. He's right down here. All right, hold on. There he is. Poor guy. Yeah, we get Plup versus Leffen. Same with Wizzy and Moki. And fuck if I know, man. Yeah, Rapem also got 9th. Rapem got so we've got our 9th placers over here. This is honorable mention. Rapem got 9th, losing to Armada and PPM 2K. Which, I mean, who can blame him? Wizzy got 9th, losing to Zane. Moki lost to Plup in a barn burner, and H-Box misses flight. Hugs got the H-Box seed and then got a lucky bracket. My goat. 7th place, after losing your real estate license, I don't think a $50 payout is going to change much. But maybe the Maybe the clout from it will. Who knows? Anyway, then we have Leffen versus Plup. I mean, hard to say who would win this one. We're going to say that because, and the reason why it's hard to say who's going to win this one, just so we're aware, is because neither of these players play Melee. Or have for like 20 years before this set. Or this tournament, rather. We're going to say that because Leffen plays Fox and Plup has a addiction to Chinese cigarettes at this point, that Leffen takes it. But it is a close 3-1 where Leffen gets a Shine Gip at 0 on Plup and then does his dorky little pop off where he like shakes his fist once and like leans in on himself, kind of like, it's like a mini Mewtwo King, you know, how Mewtwo King rocks in his chair. It's like a mini Mewtwo King. So he does one of those, makes it through. Then we get Zane Leffen. This one is also a barn burner. It's the first time Zane has looked human, and that's because Leffen starts the set with Sheik, wins game 1. Zane goes Ices game 2, Ices game 4, and Leffen of course goes Sheik game 3. It is now a game 5 set. Now, game 5, unfortunately, we decide that we are going to switch to PAL because of that one time when Leffen complained about there being 0.9 damage against Chudat and then got the run back and 3-0'd him and then moved on in bracket. We never forgot that. And so game 5 is played on PAL legally. The rules are announced beforehand. Leffen gets his grabs as Sheik. Zane, of course, going Marth, but does not get any chain grabs off of them or 0 to death combos. And so Zane 3-stocks him and wins game 5. Okay, now, by the fact that Mango makes it from losers as in range, you can all guess who wins this set. It is not Mango, it is Armada. Armada wins 3-0. Against Cody, Cody was looking on fire. Cody played the best melee of his entire life. Still got 3-2'd by Armada, the GOAT. And so he was kind of demoralized going into losers. We're not going to say that's why he lost to Zane, because he was laughing and eating food and acting generally autistic, which means that he was in his prime still. However, Zane is just that dude. And again, Zane making it to grand final or losers finals here, where he plays Mango. Now, judging by who makes the grands, you all know how this set goes, but just a little backstory. Mango loses game 1 with Puff. He actually leaves halfway through to go take a shit because he was a little hungover. And, you know, those things can come at random times. Oh, by the way, first tournament back to drinking. Somehow the first tournament he's made grands in a decade. Whether that is a correlation or not, do not want to guess. And so, anyway, with all this being said, Zane, who is on a absolute tear, whose Marth has only looked human against a 70-30 matchup, has to fight Mango. Takes the first game against his Puff while he's taking a shit, and then game 2, Mango comes back. He picks Falco and goes Yoshi's. Tries to go for stupid shines off the top that like doesn't really set up properly, and like his little, you know, Mango up air and up tilt. He side beast to ledge every recovery and gets cleaned up. Game 3 onward, he plays Fox. He triple 3-stocks Zane. Zane does not stand a chance. He retires after this tournament. Moving on, we have Armada versus Mango Enraged. You can tell by the triple 3-stock that there's something about his bird being useless that has pissed him off. And so he wins the first set. You know, again, Armada, the machine that he is, he doesn't make it easy anyway. Mango wins the first set 3-2 to bring it into set 2. You have loser 1 and loser 2. Loser 2 being Mango, Hotel, and loser 1 being Armada, which is like a bunch of ships. Okay. In set 2, Mango, you'd think wins. And he does. 3-0. Not even close. That is a wrap on the tournament. He ends it with a combo video worth of kills. Every single time the crowd goes crazy. They're chanting USA. The grand prize of this tournament is $10 billion. Why they're still giving $75 to 7th place, I don't know. But Mango takes home like 9.9 billion of it. And immediately buys everyone who's been a 10-year sub or longer ticket to the Super Bowl. And we all live happily after. Okay, next question. What's the best way to find... That took me 16 minutes to fucking shitpost. That's crazy. Hey, it's Randy. What's the best way to find good practice in your opinion? Yeah, just reaching out to people slightly better than you, and then practicing combos with people slightly worse than you, and like not caring with the neutral against them, because you're gonna find your openings just naturally because you're better, and then just work on like what you do with those openings in terms of like a different percents. So yeah, those two different things: practicing neutral and practicing like finding spots that will get you good mileage against top players, and then practicing getting that mileage against players worse. Is it finding games in Melee Online? How valuable is Melee Online for people not in any of the higher level chats? Somewhere else DMing people. Yeah, I mean, Melee Online is extremely valuable in my mind. There is a lot of killers in the advanced and the non-ranked areas. It's 1 in every 20, but there's just people who don't care enough to apply for higher ranks, and so it is worthwhile to just find like who is good for you to play. And like DMing people, yeah, like how long of a session do you generally try and do? Yeah, it depends. Again, yeah, you're right, there's no correct answer. It really does depend. I would say that like there are times when I feel like over an hour session, like an hour session is pretty standard, I would say, for me these days. To just try and flesh out like what I need to work on. But once I've already fleshed that out and like I have a general idea of what I need to work on, from there it's more about like 3 or 4 hours of practice to like extend those situations a bit further naturally. So sometimes it is worth it to have longer sessions with that in mind. Personally, I think it's probably best to have an hour session. Look at the games in the middle, watch back, study, come back stronger, keep doing that. Even like doing like 2 hour sessions with the same person one day with that in mind would be probably the best way of training. But I don't know how practical that is for most people. Alright, last question. Who's your favorite player from the local scene and why? There's a lot of good answers to this. I would say Rick is up there because he embodies what it means to be a top player to me. Doesn't really put himself like out there too much except for with his close friends. He's very respectful when he loses, even if he does feel like the same pain that any other competitor feels. It's like hard to see that. He only johns to people who are really close to him. So like everyone else feels like when he loses, the win was earned. You know, even if there's excuses, he doesn't really give them because he cares more about like the narrative and like the fact that he could have taken care of these things. Because it's like everyone has excuses, you know. He embodies like a really good top player for me in terms of the way that he approaches people and like the scene, and he's just a good guy. Berg is up there because, for the opposite reason, which is not opposite, but like Berg embodies what it means to like try and make memories in a scene, like to try and make the scene truly irreplaceable, for better or worse. I think that it's for better. I think that he's there's been a lot of unforgettable memories in the scene that have been birthed by him, so he's right up there for me. Our TOs are up there for me. Steelsy's up there for me. It's tough because there's also people in the scene that are just like my best friends. You know, like I love like Whisk and Alex and Griff, and like there's a lot of people I really like. I like Mitz. I like how much Mitz puts into the game. I like how he what he represents by driving to like events so far away, so consistently. I don't know if I have a favorite. If you're talking about like the actual way that they play, probably Riley, clumsy, because you really feel like he can lose any set, but that like he can win any set. I think he has like a really high skill ceiling, but he also like gets in his own head, and so like that there's something so volatile about that makes him like extremely fun to watch, more than any other player to me. I like Isaac's passion and how he's on the come up, and how he's like unafraid of like putting his heart on his sleeve, and I think that that's needed to improve. A lot of players in the scene I really like. Excellent question. If it was worded a bit more specifically, I might be able to give a more specific answer. But I have a lot of favorites for a lot of different reasons. I think that everyone makes the scene what it is. Yeah, I like Lilith does a lot in the background, and like PR graphic wise, and like how she helped Kay with a combo video, and just community wise, she's like a good member of the community with a good head on her shoulders. I lived with Amber Burning for forever, like a good 4 to 6 months, and so like her and I don't talk as much anymore because of like friend crossover stuff. But I think she's awesome, and like I have always rooted for her in terms of like becoming a really good player, especially when she switched over to Cheek. Yeah, a lot of people I have a lot of love for in the scene, and a lot of people that I really respect and really appreciate. Obviously Randy's on the list, obviously George's on the list, obviously the OGs, obviously the up and comers. A lot of people I really like, so it's a hard question. I think Berg's the only player I've given one of my trophies to, so he's up there. I don't know. Anyway, good video. Hour long, 15, 16 questions. Sorry I'm like half naked for it, and just it's so fucking hot in my room. Oh, so yeah. Thanks again for tuning in. Have a happy Friday, and I'll see you guys all during Ask Inky 7. Later.